Hello, Tony Stephen here once again, and this podcast is the last one in a series of podcasts that I'm concentrating on self-responsibility and how that can be implemented in our lives. Today, I've got Kym Cousins with us, and I'm very pleased to see you, Kym. I'm just halfway through your book. It's a wonderful read, and having been in sales a fair bit in my past, I really appreciate and had wished that book was around when I was starting out. So it's very much appreciated, and I highly recommend it to everybody. But Kym, just to get us started, tell us about your book and about the power of selling.
Sure. Thanks, Tony, and thanks for having me here. The book, Selling with Heart, I guess just like you, I wish that book was around when I started selling. And, that was last century. I don't know if I should say that out loud, but it really was last century. And my book is all about looking at, well, what is the 21st century way of selling and what are the expectations of buyers? It's a book that is really aimed at two people. One, someone who has been selling for a while, but never really felt very comfortable about it. And they're very reluctant. And they might not necessarily be a salesperson as such, but they're a business owner or they're a professional. And so they may not really even ever want the title salesperson. But, at the end of the day, if you're running a business in particular, you need to sell something. And that's I guess right. the other person that I aim this book at is someone very new to selling. And maybe they do have the title as salesperson, but they're really wondering why the sales training that they're learning, perhaps from their employer, why is it just feeling uncomfortable? So there's a real fusion of confidence, motivation, personality type, what buyers expect, and there's some skills and some practical tips in there as well.
Yeah, no, there's fantastic stuff so far, and I must say you're in a good position to write this book. You're not only an author, but you're also a speaker and mentor, and you're talking to many people about this. Now, with all your clients that you talk to, do you find that they take on that self-responsibility that they're meant to be about making sure that they look after the client instead of just their bank balance?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's exactly what I really try and hone in on, is that the sort of, I guess, the bad stereotype of selling is that you just want to sell something just for the money, and at all costs you want to sell and reach your targets, and of course there are targets and there are KPIs and dollar values and things that you have to meet, particularly in a sales team. But if the real true care factor and selling from your heart is being responsible for the outcome. So if I provide this piece of equipment, this software, this service, this gadget, whatever it is, I'm selling it on the premise that it is going to get an outcome for a customer, because at the end of the day, people will buy something to improve their life, to improve their family's life, to improve their client's life, to help them be better, do things better. They're looking to improve something. And so, when you take on responsibility to ensuring that happens for your clients, it's not selling, it's educating, it's sharing, it's really helping them be more and do more.
Providing opportunities. I mean, I was in real estate for a little while too, and we were always told to make sure the woman was involved in the sales process, make sure that the emotional things were happening, like having coffee brewing in the background and all of that type of thing. So it's really is a little bit deceitful, I think, when you think of those types of mechanisms. But if you're actually looking and asking the person about the house that they want and need for their 3 children, and if it fits them, then you're fulfilling a need, and therefore I can fully feel comfortable about being in that kind of sale program.
Yeah, I think real estate salespeople have come a long way, absolutely. Probably some of those little tricks that you describe may not be so relevant today for exactly that reason. It's all about best fit. Having said that, though, real estate's going crazy right now. So
it sure is, yes.
You don't even need any of those tricks, except just to make it look tidy and clean.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of real estate myself, and I'm just watching and it's extraordinary. I'm from Tasmania, where the prices have just doubled. It's incredible. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Well, I hope. So you talk a little bit in your book about the process or the history of sales, and you've just touched on it there a little bit, that it is evolving into a service that's very much needed. But what's your vision or your prediction for the future of sales?
Look, I know that you don't have the next hour to spend on this podcast, because I could certainly, go into a lot of detail. But
yeah.
In particular, there is a lot of technology that's coming into sales now. And you think about messenger chatbots and the way that if you even talk about something, your phone picks that up, and next thing you know, you've got ads sent to you, and a whole bunch of technology that is really speeding things up. I don't think it really changes the fundamentals. It speeds things up, and I often talk about it's still human to human. And so if technology is something that you're using to help market and sell something, everyone's looking to humanize the technology.
Yeah.
I sort of think, well, if you're trying to humanize your technology, why don't you just be human about it? But there's a statistic that I'd like to share, and that is, and it's a Gartner statistic, very well known, particularly IT research firm. And they say that about, on average, 76% of the purchasing or the buying journey has already been completed, generally online through research, before they engage a company or a salesperson to help them.
That much?
And so there's a whole lot of things that could sit behind that. One is, that's why we need a good website, and we need Facebook, we need all these social media platforms for our product and our service. But we also need to ensure that we as humans portray our own personal brand as part of that. And so, for example, because I'm primarily business to business, LinkedIn is a platform that portrays you, the expert in leadership training, or selling cars, or selling real estate, or whatever, because it offers a lot of an element of social what's the word I'm looking for? Social proof.
All right.
That, I've done my research. I know I want to buy a particular house in a particular area. I want a particular car or a particular outfit, whatever it might be. I've done my research. I've looked online. I've seen other people wearing the outfit or driving the car or whatever it might be. Get up to that 76%. You still need to then speak to someone on the phone, or even if it's messenger, or you need to walk into a showroom or a business or what have you, that you want to deal with the expert. And a salesperson who isn't an expert in what they sell isn't going to give that level of trust and credibility that a buyer, because buyers are so well educated these days, you don't even need to talk about your product anymore. You're talking about just to make sure that it is the right thing for the customer based on their needs and their outcomes that they're looking for.
Almost like a backup, a confirmation process rather than initiating.
It pretty much is. And I have a lot of business owners that come to me and I say, well, what's the biggest challenge in your business? And they'll say, getting customers. I'm like, okay, well, it's not about picking up the phone and cold calling like we might have done last century. It's about having a mechanism to attract people to you and to your business through a whole bunch of things, which we could talk about for hours, whether it's running webinars, whether it's having a website, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's having a book, whether it's speaking at even charity events, whatever that might be. They have to know, well, who are you? Because there is lots of us out there in the world. It's a very small global village now. So it's not about there's one of you and one of me in a geographic area. There's a lot of us. And so we need to be the expert and niche right down into what is it we can actually help our client achieve the outcomes. As you said, it's that responsibility piece.
That's spot on. And I wish I was working in my career now and or translate whatever's happening now to then. I mean, it was back in the 1990s. I was in real estate and airline sales, but it seems like I would feel much more comfortable receiving an objection now that I not necessarily would overcome, but find a result for, rather than get the yes regardless, get a result for the customer in front of that. And that would be much more comfortable for me. And I think that was the foundation of my problems being in sales.
Look, a lot of people simply fear selling. And when I really delve down into the mindset behind that, they're not fearing talking to a customer or helping a customer or helping them get what they need. What they fear most, and it's not the fear of rejection, it's simply the fear of being too salesy, like one of those bad stereotypes that we've seen in the movies. That, you know, perhaps the stereotype of the used car salesman or salesperson, I should say. People fear being like that. But if they simply flip that and say, I'm not a salesperson, I'm here to develop business in a way that is me caring for and helping people
That's it.
Get what they need and what they want to achieve.
Yeah, perfectly said. Great. And so your future, let's talk about your future for a second before we finish. You're, as I said, you're a speaker, mentor, and now author, and you've got a great message. You said you're working business to business, so you're getting some good clients in the corporate world?
I am, thank you. COVID was good to me because I live in a regional area, so pretty much everything I do is as we are today on Zoom. And so during COVID, it didn't matter where I was located or the clients were located, they had no choice. But in a way, it actually meant that there was a lot more efficiency and a lot more time saving, and still as effective as if I was getting on an airplane and flying to Sydney or Melbourne or what have you to be face to face. So now that we have some ability to travel, it's nice to perhaps, you know, meet a new client, fly down to Sydney, meet a new client, you know, meet the people, and then set up a program of mentoring and webinars and masterminds where we are on Zoom, because it's better and faster for them, and of course it's much more efficient for me. So
and if you've met the person already, it's a marvelous tool.
It is, and you know, we've learned so we've all, well, I've always been using Zoom for a long time, but it's meant that a lot of people have embraced more IT in their business and life, and it's to their benefit.
Yeah. Kym, what a wonderful little 10 minutes or more than that was. A lot of really good insight into sales and business building. And I must say, you've got a great message, and I wish you all the best, although I don't really think you need too much good luck. It's going to happen anyway. Thank you so much, Kym. Really good.
Awesome. And thank you for this opportunity. It's been great chatting.
Lovely.